Welcome, everyone. We are happy and grateful that you're joining us. Our special guest today is Martina Slaba, a multiple taijiquan champion and founder of the Tai Chi studio in Prague. Welcome, Martina. I'm so pleased that you're joining us today.
Hello, thank you very much for having me. It's a great honor for me.
Wonderful. You know, you started your life in Tai Chi at the age of 12 in 2004 and began international competition just a few years later. And since then, you have been a national champion 23 times and a European champion and world vice champion 11 times. And now you've retired from competition. But I'm very curious about what grabbed you about Tai Chi and why have you devoted over half your life to this practice?
Well, first of all, I started as quite young. As you said, I was 12 years old, which is, I would say, quite unusual, at least in Europe, because girls are usually dancers or I don't know what. And I was a dancer before and I got the injury, but I couldn't believe I wouldn't be able to move to do something. And doctors told me, like, you can try Tai Chi or yoga. And for some reason, I don't really know why, my parents were already doing Tai Chi. And I was like, okay, I will try to join them. And I remember my first lesson. I was so lost like never before. It was so complex. There was such a huge amount of things behind taijiquan. It wasn't just the movements as I was used to from dancing, but there was all the breath techniques. There was all the work behind. There was the whole culture, language, and I was like, it was for me like a new space that opened to me, like a whole universe. And I was like, oh my God, this is really possible to happen anywhere. Like, wow, I want to know more. And I have to say that the first 6 months were really hard for me because, you know, the legs was like, it was so painful at the beginning and completely new moves. And I was just 12. So certain moves which are connected to breath and, you know, the general staying focused on the slow moves, it's hard for a 12-year-old child. But for some reason, I took it as a challenge, and I was like, "No, I need to know it. I wish to know more." And so I was training twice a week for the first 6 months, and then I started training every day because I just was like, "No, it's perfect. I'm like improving. I know I can feel how it starts flowing, you know, within the body." And of course, there were billions of mistakes at the time. That's normal when you start. But I was like, no, I need to know it. It was like a magnet to me. It's really not that easy to explain, but for some reason, I felt attached to Tai Chi Chuan and Qigong and these kind of things, and I just couldn't like go away. I didn't even think about it. It didn't came in my mind. I was just like, of course, I have training today. And what do you do tomorrow? I have training. What would I do?
I love it. My first Tai Chi class, when I went to it, I walked in, they did the warm-ups, they started doing the moves, and I knew this is for me, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's a great gift when you have that understanding right away, because a lot of people are shopping around for something to do. And these days with the internet, you can find anything, you know, whether it's high quality or not is another thing. But when I started studying Tai Chi, it was in the late 1970s, and you had to look for a teacher, you know, and when you found one, you felt like you had hit the jackpot, you know. It wasn't like there were a million of them around. So I really understand that, and I can really relate to it. I just think it's amazing that you had that experience at such a young age. I'm sure your parents were very supportive.
Yes, my parents were incredibly supporting throughout the whole, like, next several years, not just at the beginning, because they allowed me to train till late nights, because of course all the evenings were mainly for all the trainings were mainly for adults, so they were in the evenings. So it was quite late for a 12-year-old girl, but they always allowed me to go there, or picked me up when it was way too late. They helped me with competitions, with reading the rules, because they weren't available in Czech, of course, and I was 12, so my English wasn't that good to read the rules. They helped me a lot. They took me to training camps. I wouldn't be able to do this and to achieve this without my parents, without their support, and even the mental support. Just to know that your parents are not thinking that you are crazy, that they are just supporting you, that they are, like supporting you on your path that you choose, even though it may seem to be crazy for too many people. It's just, yeah, it's been great, and the beginnings were like everything was new. Every training camp was my first. Every competition was my first. And I met new people, and tried to learn from every single one of them that I meet. So when I saw an athlete on a competition who was better than me, I was like, oh, how do you do it? Would you mind to train with me for a while? Or can we practice together? And I meet the coaches, the athletes, the judges, and I was constantly trying to learn and willing to learn. And for some reason, I remember even at this like young age, I mean like 14, 12, 14, I was like, I will compete because I want to learn. And I know it pushes me in a certain way to do things that I would be avoiding to do. Because, when you have to and the people will be watching you, you are much more strict on yourself, which I think at the age of 12 is not bad. And so I was just trying and willing constantly to learn, and I put a lot of effort into it and a lot of time, of course. And yeah, it's been incredible. All the stories, everything
Yeah.
that happened.
Yeah. Well, it's quite inspirational to hear you speak about this development in your life of this passion. And I'm wondering, what are the main benefits that you received from your practice? And do you think an average person who isn't motivated in the same way, to be in a competition, to be the best, do you think an average person can still get those benefits from practice without this bigger context of, being the best and being in competition? And, your particular connection to it is quite extraordinary. What about the ordinary people who don't have an extraordinary connection?
Well, first of all, I always thought that the competition are just the background, which pushes me to work harder than I would do by myself, but not as the main goal. I knew I wanted to grow. I knew I wanted to learn, and this was just a tool for it, for me. But on the other hand, I don't think it's necessary. I think Tai Chi and Qigong is for everyone. But sometimes what I see when I watch my students, they are expecting too much for nothing. I mean, I think everyone who wishes to have benefits coming out of it needs to be willing to work on themselves. I mean, to be willing to invest some time, some energy, some effort. And it doesn't really mean they have to be a European champion or whatever. No, but they need to open their heart and their mind to the changes that it brings. And also the body, of course, because we are also working with the body. But that's the main thing I believe we all need in order to change something in our lives. And I think that the taijiquan and qigong, as it is an exercise deeply connected to the breath, it has the power to change a lot of things in our body, to heal, to create the time for ourselves that we need. And also, when I was talking about the healing, to heal our body as well as our soul, to put it together, to realize what is important for us. But first of all, we need to open to it and put some effort and time. But it doesn't mean that we have to train 20 hours a week. No, I think it's more about the patience and also the present moment. I've met so many people who are training so much, but it has almost no results. And I believe that's because they were not present during the training or during the practice. When I go for practice, I switch the phone off. I close the door. I just create a space for myself where is as less things that could disturb me as possible. And that's, I think, it's really important, because when I stay present with the practice, with the breath, when I really allow my body and my mind to get connected without any bigger interference of my brain, then I really think that's the beneficial part of it. That's where the training actually starts, when I reach this point. But when I would be, practicing and thinking about what should I go shop for I don't know, dinner, shopping, whatever. Oh, how about the children and the meeting at work tomorrow? Then the progress is really slow, because you are truly not paying attention to what are you doing. And I think it has to be visible at the end. So even 20 hours spent thinking about something else and practicing won't lead to the result as 15 minutes, maybe 20 daily, really focusing on the present moment of the practice.
Yes, I really appreciate that meditative approach, because most Westerners are very results oriented and they're looking for the end result. And because of that, they're not really, as you say, being in the present moment. They're not attending to all the small little things that you need to do in practice. Some people don't understand that it's such a great luxury to just think about where your big toe and your small toe are. I mean, to just let your mind let go of all of that, the little hamster running in the head. And you've really hit on something that I think is so essential to practice, and that is the meditative aspect of that. And I'm wondering how you learned that. I mean, if you could share with our audience a story, perhaps, you have all this incredible experience, like how did that, that idea, how did it really become part of you?
I think for some reason, and I don't really know why, I had quite a healthy approach at the beginning. Because our culture, I think, like European or maybe the Western culture in general, we are very goal-oriented. And when I was in China, I didn't see it that much. I mean, the people were practicing and were happy just by the practice. But it's really very hard for us to achieve it. And I think when we are goal-oriented, it's really important to set up like small goals which are really achievable, so you don't really disappoint yourself. And for some reason, I went really naturally for training 2 times a week, 3 times a week, 4, 5, and then to training every day. But as it was really natural, and step by step, I built up a habit out of it. And I think that's the most beautiful thing about it, that I created a time in a day which I was actually looking forward to. It wasn't something I have to do. It wasn't something I need to do. It was something I was looking forward to it. And so I just naturally created a space in a day which lead me to take the time for it. Because when you are looking forward to something, you just naturally set up the day that there is at least a tiny little space for it. Because you don't really want to skip it because you are looking forward to it. It's like a piece of a chocolate of the day. You eat a whole meal, but you leave the little space for the tiny piece of chocolate. So it was something like this. And of course, there were periods which were like easier for me, which were harder for me. But I've always been looking forward to the training. So that helped me a lot. Also, I think when I was like, in my case, I went through a lot of unusual periods with taijiquan. I mean, like adulting, or, I was like 8, 16, 17, and all my friends were on parties. And I was like, I'm going for training. I'm not going just for the party. I don't really want to. And I think also the group of young people, which was at the gym with me, created the natural environment for me, that I wasn't alone here, that we were a bunch of friends and just going together. And that's what helped me in this specific, like 16, 18 years of age. And then, yeah, of course, I went on the university, I started working, but at the time I didn't really think about to quit, because I know it's already a part of me, and I have already invested so much like effort and time and energy into something I do really like. That why would I finish, or why would I quit, or why would I leave it? I didn't want to, but I had to fight for it. That's true, and that's also probably the time when I have to find the meditative state of it. Because when you are 12, you need to move. You simply are a child, you have plenty of energy, and you need to put it into something or you get crazy. This how the little body works. But later on, I think when I had more things in a day, like university work and other things, I had to create the space when I relax, and that's the time when it changed.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people have really high expectations from Tai Chi and Qigong. And the reality is often very different. Some people, in my experience of being a teacher and also being a student all these years, I notice that people go to a retreat or an intensive training situation and they really get support for their practice, and they're gung-ho for a couple of, maybe a month or two afterwards, and then it just kind of disappears and they lose their momentum. How can people create a path to daily practice that can really be realistic, to balance their expectations with what is actually possible for them?
Yeah, I think for me, it was really important to realize few basic things. For example, that something, even a very little something, is always better than nothing. So because I tend to skip the training when I don't have like full 60 minutes, but it doesn't really make any sense because even 20 minutes is much better than nothing. So that was the first thing that I needed to realize, that okay, it's not perfect. Okay, you might want to have more time, but you don't. So use what you have and go for it if you want to make it. And then I had to learn that it doesn't really have to be perfect. It would be really nice to have an own gym and have there all the equipment I wish to have and all the space. Okay, I don't. So I was just in my room and said to myself, okay, you might not go for a full taijiquan routine because you don't have enough space. Let's do qigong, because it's still much better than just sit and watch TV, or at least by my stance. And So that was it. And when I wanted to build a daily habit, for me it works well when I put it into something I already do daily and start with a really, really small amount of time. So, for example, I brush my teeth every day. So 5 minutes before, I just sit and was breathing, and just 5 minutes, not more. And day after, the same. Or I don't know, we can do it after the shower in the evening or when we wake up in the morning. Just build up a little habit, which is in a really small time. So you don't really have a time that it's anyhow time consuming or any time demanding or anything. You just, it somehow sneaks into your life and you don't even know how. And slowly, as you start to improve, and as it starts, the body starts looking forward to it, and as your mind starts, you can start increasing the time. So I started with very short amount of time in the evening after the shower, just to relax and fall asleep. And then I extended it, and it's like an hour, and I can't imagine I wouldn't be practicing for one day, just because I build up the habit very, very naturally and very, very slowly. That's, in my opinion, something that is really helpful, because when we start with, for example, from 0 to 60 minutes every day, we don't really build a habit. We are causing more like shock to our mind and our body, because from 0 to 60 minutes daily, it's way too much. It's stressing, but we don't really want to stress ourselves. We want to make a habit. We want to build something we are looking forward to. So that's, in my opinion, these are probably the most important things for me.
Thank you for that. One of the other presenters in the summit is a man named Deng Ming Dao. I don't know if you know his work, but one time he said, every day you practice, you win, and every day you don't practice, you lose. And I always have that in my mind, because you're absolutely right. Even a little practice every day is better than being a weekend Tai Chi person. So I really appreciate your really practical and inspiring story. And it would be great if you could share a practice with us. I'm sure our audience would love to work with you, even if it's only for 10, 15 minutes. So go for it.
So let's start a little practice. So at first, let's start in a seated position. The most important thing in this position is to stay seated comfortably. You can close your eyes and just take several really, really deep breaths. Try to fill your belly, your chest, even the shoulders with a deep breath in. And then breathe out everything, everything. And again, breathe in, belly, chest, shoulders. And breathe out. And again, breathe in. And breathe out. And again, breathe in. And breathe out. Keep going. There is nothing else in your universe than just breathe in and breathe out. Slowly go through your body and relax your feet. And don't stop breathing. Just breathe out, breathe in. Relax your legs. Let your body stay very heavy on the floor. Try to feel connected to the floor. Relax your spine, but stay straight. Let's take one hand and put it on your belly and the other one on your chest. Let's try a little exercise. Within Qigong, we usually want to breathe in the belly. But it's important to know how to breathe in your chest as well. So let's try it. Take a deep breath in your belly. So you move just the bottom arm and breathe out. The next breathe in goes only to the chest. So only the top hand moves. And breathe out. And again to the belly. And now to the chest. Don't hurry. Let's slowly breathe in the belly. Breathe out. And breathe in the chest. And breathe out. Two times more. Breathe in the belly. Breathe out. In chest. And one last time. Breathe in belly. And breathe in chest. Breathe out. Relax. Return to your natural breath. Let's try to breathe in the belly as much as you can. Feel free to close your eyes. And slowly go through your body. With every breath out, try to relax. Try to relax your toes, your thumbs. Try to relax your legs. Try to relax your belly. Don't hurry with the breath. You still have plenty of oxygen, much more than you need when you are seated. Don't worry about anything. Don't push it anywhere, just let it flow with the breath. Breathe in and breathe out. With the breathe out, try to relax your shoulders, but still keep your spine straight. Relax your eyes. You can slowly open your eyes, and you are ready to go to a stand position. Okay, let's start with a standing position, which I will lead you through. Put your feet on the wide of your shoulders. The toes are pointing the wall in front of you. Let's bend your knees. Try to narrow your spine. And try to sit like you would be sitting on a chair, but not really. Head up and relax. Slightly close your chest and just breathe. If you are feeling comfortable, you can create a circle with your arms. Let it just flow in the air. And as you remember, the feeling that you have in your belly should be the same like when you were sitting. So play with the posture and try to find the right place with your spine and with your pelvis in order to create a space in your belly where you can breathe. Once you are ready, allow your body to breathe in the belly. Take a few deep breaths. And relax. You can imagine that with every breath out, all the heaviness is going down through the roots you have to the ground. It doesn't stay in your body. All the stress, all the work you have to go, all the work you have to do, it all flows away. With every breath out, just relax. Few more deep breaths. As you are breathing in standing position, we can go through the posture without even looking. Just close your eyes and go through your body. Realize how the feet are connected to the floor. How your weight is separating evenly between your feet. Your legs should create a really stable construction. Feel how you can be connected through the construction to the earth. Relax your hips. Use your roots and the floor as a strong base from which you can grow and gain an energy. Imagine how the energy is collecting from the roots you have through your spine, through your whole body. And try to relax everything with every breath out. Let's continue through the body. Relax your arms. Relax your thumbs. Relax your fingers. But keep the construction of the circle. Breathe in and breathe out. Relax your eyes. Relax your mouth. We are slowly getting into the breathing. So stay calm and listen to your breath. Listen what your body tries to tell you through your breath. Enjoy the present moment. It's a time for yourself. It's time to enjoy. Time to stay. Just breathe in, breathe out. There is no pain. Nothing can reach you in this shape, in this moment. You can relax your arms just to allow your shoulders to relax fully. You can surrender to the present moment and just enjoy the breath. Slow the breath. You can slowly come back with a few more deep breaths. You can slowly open your eyes. Let's take 3 basic exercises. Breathe in and breathe out. Try to move your whole body. You are sitting a little bit down. Keep your spine straight. Moving your arms from shoulders through elbows to the end of the fingers. And the last one. Breathe in, breathe out. You can save the moment. You can stay there as long as you want or can. Once you are ready, you can open your eyes. You can thank yourself for the practice and for the time you made for it. You can write few positive things that you appreciate about the practice or what you have learned. And you can start your entire day.
Thank you. That was just beautiful and so simple and so beneficial. And I got into a nice, deep state, and I appreciate that. So, Martina, how can people get in touch with you? And do you have anything coming up, either online or in person? I don't know how many people are in our audience or actually in your area, but go ahead and share with us how people can work with you.
Well, I'm planning to extend my YouTube channel to international audience. So we plan to upload several videos where I'll be teaching much more than just this like basic exercise for a couple of minutes. So I hope this might be interesting for someone. And I'm teaching in the Czech Republic, Prague, capital city. And sometimes I take workshops abroad, planning to be in Portugal this summer. And let's see what else comes in my pet.
Great. And can you tell us your website?
My website is martinataijiquan.com, TAIJI. And I am on all my social networks, YouTube, Instagram, as well as Facebook. I'm as a Martina Taichi, which I think makes it quite simple.
Great. Thank you so much. And I would like to take this opportunity to remind our audience that if you click on the screen, you can purchase the premium access to the summit, which includes unlimited access to all of these amazing sessions, transcripts, and also some bonus materials. So thank you so much, Martina, Slaba, for such an inspirational but also practical session. And thank you all out there in the audience for tuning in. I will see you soon.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome.